What's up, everyone? My name is Tim Stoddart. Welcome to Tim Stodds FM. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the daily podcast for people that want to win the day. Today's episode is called How to Keep Going. We all get to the point where we want to quit, but only a select few of us have the inner fortitude to push through the tough times and get to where we want to be. I am not a quitter. My parents taught me about pain tolerance, and I'm very grateful for them for teaching me about determination and fortitude. But as I've been through more and more tribulations in my life, I've learned some practical tips to manage pain and manage doubt when I'm feeling discouraged. It's one thing to say that you're stronger than your pain and hype yourself up with motivation, but it's another to actually have a few coping skills up your sleeve that you can depend on when you aren't feeling motivated or inspired. Here's 3 that I can share with you. 1. Pretend you're not tired. I learned this great little trick on a podcast yesterday when I was driving home from work. The idea is that you can trick your body and your mind into feeling revitalized simply by acting like you aren't tired. I tested it out on myself. Last night, I completed a very difficult workout. I won't explain the entire workout to you, but know that it was about 40 straight minutes of sets where 30 seconds were on and then 20 seconds of break. Rowing machine, push-ups, burpees, planks, squats, and a few other exercises that make you want to quit. I felt most tired after the rowing machine and after the burpees. So after I was finished with those sets, I just imagined that there was a crowd around me watching and that I couldn't let them see how tired I was. I wanted the crowd to look at me and think, he's got this. Look at him. He looks fine. I would finish these exercises and do my best to stand right up and walk around the garage normally as though nothing was happening. Sure, my muscles were burning, but my mind felt clear. I knew I could jump back into another set. It's a funny little trick, but it really did work. Naturally, this little trick applies outside of just working out. It can apply at the end of a hard day's work or on the home stretch of a 3-day sprint to hit a deadline. No matter what it is, just act cool. Show your best poker face. Just act like you're not tired. Number 2, you can always do one more. When I lived in Florida, I would go running a lot, real late at night. On one particular night, I had a Forrest Gump moment. I got to the turn where I usually turn back around, and instead, I decided to keep going. Then again at the next turn, and again at the next turn. I don't know why I did it. To this day, it was one of the longest runs I have ever been on. I ran for 2.5 hours or so. I honestly have no idea how far it was. By the end of the run, I was in a lot of pain. My legs were killing me. I was starting to doubt if I could finish. Every time I started thinking about the finish line, I would get overwhelmed and think to myself that there was no way I could do it. So I stopped thinking about the finish. I would look up and find a telephone pole and just try to run to the pole. As is always the case, the closer I got to the finish line, the harder it got. So each time I took a step, I would say to myself, one more step. Just one more, one more, one more, one more. I swear, I repeated this to myself the entire last mile of that run. But I ran it all the way in. I didn't quit. It was one of my proudest moments in life. I wanted to quit so bad. But I ran it all the way in by running one more step at a time. No matter how tired you get, you're almost always capable of doing one more. Do one more rep, take one more step, make one more sales call, read one more page, take one more set of those practice shots, whatever it is, whatever you're calling, you can always do one more. The only way to find out how far you can go is to get to the point where you can't go any further. Once you get to that point, it's totally acceptable to stop and catch your breath. But until you get to your absolute breaking point, you can always go one more. Number 3, keep your eye on the prize. I say this out loud to myself every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Life isn't always filled with excitement or Instagram-worthy snapshots. Most successful people will tell you that many of their days are spent doing arduous tasks. There will be days when you are questioning if you're doing the right thing or even if what you're doing is worth it. But you will stick with it because you care about the prize. You care about the celebration dance. You care about popping champagne in the locker room. So if you don't want to keep going, try to remember why you started. What are you putting in all those hours for? What's the point? Think about the trophy. Think about that successful business. Think about the home you want to buy or the dream vacation you're saving up for. No matter how tough or how monotonous it becomes, always keep your eye on the prize. That should get you to the finish line. This is about separating the winners and the losers. Talent plays a role in success. Of course it does. But toughness plays a bigger role. Grit is your badge of honor. Determination is your superhero cape. It's natural selection. Do you have what it takes or don't you? The real question is, where do you want to be? Most importantly, what are you going to do when you don't want to go any further? I hope that you will keep going. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I appreciate all of you so much. If you would, please leave me a rating on iTunes. Please leave me a comment on iTunes. It's the best thing you can do to support the show. As always, I invite you guys to check out my weekly newsletter at timstodds.com/newsletter. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be sure to win the day.